Joe Pelayo here, Joseph Michaels International Recruiters. Hope you're doing amazing. I want to share with you a few things that might be helpful for you, help you grow in your career, grow your business, grow your network, expand your skills, and gain a competitive advantage. And these tips I'm going to share with you today, I've learned some the hard way and some through OPE, other people's experience. Before I get into that, I want to share a phone call that I received the other day from someone who asked me if I remembered him from 20 years ago or so. And I told him, yes, I did. You know, it's one of the few redeeming features we recruiters have, right? We have a good memory. We remember everybody. So I told him about his old school and his old jobs, and even told him how old his kids were. I was a little off on that because so many years had passed, but he said, well, great memory. And I wanted to call and thank you, Joe, because I got a new opportunity and I finally cashed in on my stock options. And I said, that's great. He said, Joe, I paid off my home and my vacation home in the same year. I said, that's awesome, man. I'm proud of you and I'm happy for you. Are you the type of person that's happy when others are succeeding? I hope that you are. I imagine you are if you're following me. I was so happy for him. But I asked him, hey, but question for you, why are you calling to thank me? Because this company that you got into that went wildly successful, I didn't place you there. And he said, I know, but you placed me on those jobs many years ago. And you gave me the advice not to undervalue my stock options and to put a weight on that. And ever since then, I've been trying to get jobs with stock options. I've negotiated those and I've put a value on those, and they finally paid off for me. So anyway, I was happy with that. Happy to receive that call. Really made my day. And don't forget your stock options. They can add up. I had 3 calls like that in the last month or so. So I felt like I should share that with you. Another individual that I was speaking with, he got into a company that was delisted, and he was overworked very hard and got the company back. And then the stock took off after getting a relist, and I received a call from him that he was very successful and in the money also. But I wanted to share a few things with you that might help you be successful, maybe as much as some of these millionaires and maybe more, but maybe just things that can give you an edge. And some of these things you may already know. They say that if we're good at what we do, which you probably are if you're following me, you're interested in your career, you're probably an executive or an aspiring executive, you're successful, but a lot of the times we just need reminders about what we maybe already know. So I'll share a few things with you that I think could be helpful for you. First thing, I'm having a hard time how to share this with you without you hanging up on me, so to speak, because it's such a simple thing. But I had a number. I ran a poll on LinkedIn. You can run a poll on there. I have 22,000 followers. I like what Tony Robbins said. He said, I don't say that to impress you. I say that because it impresses me. Anyway, I ran a poll on there, and 50% of the people weren't doing what I'm about to suggest to you. So I think that it's important that even if this isn't for you, you might think that's really simple, Joe. I'm already doing that. Think beyond yourself. They said the greatest among us will be your servant. Think about somebody that you know that you could share this technology with to help them get their career moving a little faster. And that is to increase the speed. And what I mean is increasing the speed on the videos that you're watching for your learnings, whether you're watching on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, YouTube. I want to recommend you get a paid account and start editing the speed of the video. You can edit the speed often with a free account, but then you're fast forwarding the commercials. I had one person complaining that all they got was commercials. Now, well, hey, you didn't get a paid account. What do you expect? They got to make money. But get yourself a paid account, because that's going to help you to enjoy your learning time on the training that you're getting, and then edit the speed. Try something at 1.5 times speed. Go back and watch me on this video. I bet you might even find me more interesting, which would be an insult and a compliment both ways. But watch your videos at 1.5 times speed. Watch your videos at 2 times speed, 2.5 times speed. Get as fast as you can go, and don't be worried if you can't understand what's being said. Like, crank me up to like 4 times speed, 5 times speed if you can. But then when you ratchet it back to 2 times speed, it's gonna kind of train your mind. You know, it's like a speed reading class. And in the old days, there was a saying that said, you know, if you want to be successful in life, find a person who's successful and ask him of what book he reads, or her. Uh, and, you know, I think the modern day equivalent of that is what podcast, right? Do you listen to? What videos are you watching for your learning? Because all of us, we're in a race, right? To keep up with technology, stay ahead of this AI, stay nimble. And learn. You're probably, if you're like me or most people, you're trying to learn one new software a month, right? I took a Excel class with my wife because I work with Excel a lot in my job, creating lists of people that I might call for recruiting for various opportunities. And I learned a lot in that class. And so, you know, increase your learning speed. It's really a powerful thing. I'm not talking about your enjoyment videos. Boy, I watched 9 episodes of, I hate to admit, I think it was a 1 hour program. There was no redeeming value on it. I watched series 1 and the first 4 or 5 episodes of series 2. And it was just fun time watching. I'm not talking about that. And I'm not trying to take that away from you, but I'm talking about when you're learning, when you're trying to learn something that your boss asks you to watch, you're trying to keep up on something, you're trying to learn a new software, you need to adjust the speed and get in there and learn. Just like also when you're reading, when you read at a speed that's 1.5, I took a speed reading class when I was young, so grateful for that. If you haven't done that, do that. But you know, when you're reading at 1.5, 2 times, 3 times your normal speed, your brain actually kicks into a higher gear, and you're actually able to absorb more. So don't worry about what you're absorbing initially, because as you're taking in this learning, you're going to increase your speed of your ability to process the videos. Hope that makes some sense. Well, the listening. So I asked. Yeah, this is what I want to tell you. I asked a successful friend of mine, which is important. You know, we all need mentors. And then saw a fellow on LinkedIn posting that we all need advocates. So the mentor is the person that you know you're getting advice from ongoing in your career. But we also need advocates. These are people in our company who know where we're trying to get in our career, and they're willing to help us and advocate for us, even though they may not be the mentor. And there's several different voices we need speaking into us, and you need to be speaking into others, because if your glass is full, guess what? You know, you're on this planet 56 years like myself. Time to start pouring some energy back in and helping somebody else. And then you'll open up, you know, you pour some of your goodness on somebody else, your knowledge, your wisdom, do a wisdom drop on someone else. Guess what? Now you got some more time to, and some freedom, freed up your mind a bit to learn some new things, right? So anyway, I asked a successful mentor friend of mine about what video he would recommend that I watch for my learning. And wow, you know, I thought that I was watching some pretty good, smart podcasts, right? Because there's a lot of them now. And what the one he recommended to me was like light years ahead of whatever I was watching. So I went back to him and I said, hey, you know, remember this video that you recommended me? I watched. I really liked it. And I said, can you give me some more of those? I think they like it when you do that. When you go back to your mentor and you say, the info you gave me helped me, I'd like some more, please. Guess what? Most of them, they got kids, told them what to do all their life, and they didn't do any of it. So the fact that you're going to come back and tell them, I want to do some more of your advice, that's going to work for you. So try that. Anyway, I went back to him and I said, hey, I like that video. Can you give me some more? And I'm going to give you those videos here in a moment. But you know, we're in this race of technology. We're trying to keep up. Take some classes to build your skill stack and increase your speed to something higher than the normal reading speed. Like I said, that LinkedIn poll showed that 50% of people have never watched a video on a speed other than normal, 50%. And so if we're in an environment where AI's coming on and we need to keep up with technology, you know, in the old days, they used to say that when computers came on the scene, that the computers were going to take away the jobs. And how that played out was really not like that. What it was that all the people who weren't able to learn the computer, they lost their jobs. Okay, so likely what you're going to need to do is learn to do AI in your job and help you do your job. Give you an example. I called a friend of mine's a CFO, and he was talking about how he was visited by his president, his CEO, late in the evening. He was in there working late, and he said, "Thank you for getting all those presentations done and all those what do you call it, the spreadsheets, right?" And the CEO asked him, "How'd you get all that done? Aren't you running like 3 financial analysts short?" And he said, "Yeah, I am." And he said, "Well, how did you get all that work done?" He said, "Well, I took an AI class, and it was awesome, and it helped me to do the presentations." So there's a opportunity now to learn faster than we've ever learned before. That's the good news. And you need to do it to keep up. And let me say to the job seekers, if I may, it's not you, it's the job market. There was a pregnant pause in this job market starting last year. I'm not sure when, but the new jobs report just came out. It's a little less worse than expected. And I think that the new administration starting to kind of get their arms around things, and hopefully things will be, companies be hiring again. All right, so these are the 3 videos I'd recommend to you. Reid Hoffman interviewing his AI self. Amazing. You can find that on my profile. I shared that some time back. Mark Zuckerberg on Joe Rogan, and then Lex Fridman interview with Marc Andreessen. You know Lex Fridman, he does the long form interviews like Joe Rogan, and he's talking to Marc Andreessen for like 2-3 hours. And so now these are 3 billionaires that you're spending 3 hours with, albeit virtually, but you're having a opportunity to be in the room, kind of see how they think, hear how they process, understand the books that they're recommending, and increase your skill stack so that you can be more marketable in the market, or so it can help you in your business, in your work. In your company. All right. Well, these were some things that I wanted to share with you. Take these pieces of advice and use them wisely. Watch this video again and watch those 3 videos I recommended. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and be sure to watch the videos that we recommended. And until next time, this is Joe Pelayo from Joseph Michaels International Recruiters, wishing you all the best and continued success on this, the first day of the rest of your life. Have a good one. Have a good day.